Welcome to Verkada Access Control Deep Dive. User management, who doesn't love it? Sarcasm aside, in this video, I wanted to discuss a few of the nuances when it comes to access control. And this is timely because just a few weeks ago, Verkada pushed some extra changes in order to offer a greater degree of flexibility when assigning different roles to different users. This degree of flexibility is something that I often think about because on one side, yes, it would be great to have all the options in the world and create end user accounts with granular level of details, but at the same time, that is actually not simple or easy to use, and also becomes very difficult to troubleshoot when it's not working correctly. So there is always a balance between offering flexibility, but at the same time, making sure that the system is easy to understand and use. And no matter what system you actually choose, you always have to have in mind the principle of least privilege, which dictates that you should only be giving the minimum amount of visibility and control for each user. So if you have user X that only happens to look after one of your sites, do make sure that you only make them admin for that particular location. If user I needs to only be able to see but not configure, great, give them read only and not allow them to configure anything. With that in mind, let's have a look and understand how Verkada is implementing this specifically when it comes to access control. And you can test this easily yourself by just creating another user. Like you'll see here, I basically added a plus AC user on top of my work email, and that actually allows me to spin off an account which will always redirect to the same email. And just under the email here, you'll be able to see this tab called Access Control Roles. And this is where, when we click edit, we will be able to choose one role for the system. So that corresponds to everything when it comes to troubleshooting controllers, actually like setting up doors, etc. And the user management role, which is more geared towards things such as putting users in the right groups, assigning them the right credentials, etc. So in a nutshell, this is the biggest change that Verkada has done here. So separated these two things and allow you to choose the one that matches your requirement more closely. I'll leave a link in the comments below so you can check out a couple of great illustrations on what each of these roles do. So you have one for the access system, which is broken down into manager and admin, with the manager only being able to create and edit schedules, door exceptions, and access exceptions, whilst access system admin having visibility not only across all sites automatically, but also editing buildings, floor plans, and very importantly, manage organizational settings. So without access system admin, well, you will not be able to see those organization-wide settings. You have a similar thing for access user management, which is broken down in credential manager, allowing people to manage certain credentials, great for things such as receptionists that might be able to onboard people as they kind of come in the building. Access user manager, which is also able to shift people in different groups, and the user admin, who is able to not only create these groups, but also assign other people as access user manager or credential manager. What is very important is that because these two things are split, although, for example, an access system admin can grant other access systems roles, and similar, the access user admin can grant other access user roles, they won't actually be able to add roles across this boundary. So if, for example, I am an access user admin and I can do anything I want with the user groups, but I am not an access system administrator, I won't actually be able to uplift my credentials on that side and be able to access the whole platform. The last thing to do is tag the site or sites you want these people to have access to. So you go back to command here, and you'll be able to click manage roles and either give no access, site viewer, manager, or admin. And these roles actually correspond to these things, which are settings and reports that pertain to a particular location. And although you'll actually be able to get a couple of examples here that, again, I'll let you read in your spare time, I thought it's best to just quickly play around with some of these settings and see exactly what happens. The first thing I want to test is what's happening if, for example, I'm an access systems manager, so I don't have actually full control over all the settings, and I am an access user admin, so I get all the settings and information when it comes to user management, but I have no access to any of these sites. I jumped into an incognito window to show exactly how that user looks like, and as you see here, if I click on the Access tab, I don't see anything but a list of users. I can click in each of these users and, for example, assign different credentials to them, turn on and off Verkada pass, etc. Again, I have full access as a user management, and I also have a limited visibility into more general access settings such as building management, but nothing else. Like, not even if I click on a user, I won't even be able to see what doors they have access to, only the groups that they belong. And obviously, if these groups are named in a logical way, I'll be able to actually uplift them and put them in the correct group. Going back to the master admin, I can now assign myself roles. So for example, I can give myself, for example, access site admin to one of my locations. And now, refreshing our test users, I can see the doors that belong to that particular site appearing. Access home, the tab itself appears, and I have full control over that particular site. Now, let's say my job is more to troubleshoot the system and not touch user credentials. So I can come inside edit, I can say none, so I cannot edit any users' credentials or groups, click apply and see what happens. And what you'll notice is that I still have visibility into the users and the groups, but if I click on one of them and I go inside the profile, I am not able to even see the types of credentials they're using. And within the access, yes, I know that they are part of these access groups, but there's nothing here to add or remove them. Last but not least, maybe I'm in a scenario in which I shouldn't even be able to touch the settings of that particular site. I should only be able to view what's happening and remotely unlock doors. Well, in this case, I'm gonna downgrade my admin rights to access site viewer, click save, and let's see what happens. Going back to my test user, nothing actually has changed in the access users because I did not uplift my admin rights there, but what you can see here is that a lot of the things have gone missing from my access home. I can still see the door itself and I can remotely unlock it, I can see the schedule, etc., but I'm actually not able to do anything else. Hopefully this gives you a flavor of some of the changes that have happened since the last time I've done this video. Changes for the good, because again, previously you might have been in a situation in which possibly you were not very content of giving user access to the platform, just in case people start messing around with credentials and add people to the wrong groups and delete them, etc. Well, now you can actually decide on a per admin basis what type of things you want them to do. And as I said a few times before, well, the best thing is obviously for you to test them yourself, and hopefully this video has given you an idea on how to do so.